Hello everybody, and today we're going to make a little C-clamp to be 3D printed. So for us to start, we're going to go to the part menu here, click that, and it's going to take a second to open up. And once we have part open up, we're going to start a 2D sketch on our XY plane. And then we go to the circle tool, and we're going to make the screw mechanism, the part that screws the clamp in and out. We're going to go to point 385. There, finish sketch. And then we're going to extrude that amount. We'll go 2 inches. And then we'll also add a little handle onto this. Great sketch. Come back out. Let's go 0.75. Finish sketch. Extrude that out. We just need to go about a ½ inch. No, we can go even smaller. Let's go 0.25. Hit OK. So now that's our little handle for the screw. And once we are on here, we are now going to put a coiled feature into it for the threads of the screw. Go here, go to our YZ plane. You could go to the XZ plane, it doesn't matter. But either YZ or XZ, one of these planes that cuts all the way through. Click on that. Start sketch. Now from here, we want to go to View, Slice Graphics. So now that cuts through a cross section of the part. Go back to the Sketch tab, and you're going to click on the down arrow underneath rectangle, go to Polygon, type in the number 3, and we're going to make a triangle. There we go. Something like that. No real size yet. Hit done. And now we're going to start constraining this. First thing we want to do is make a size from back edge to the point of 0.125. We want to give it that, so this back edge here is perfectly lined up with that. So right click OK, we can go here, click on that. So notice it's spun it. So my horizontal and vertical axes are wrong. I'm just going to hit the back button, cancel, back. Go to this constraint, vertical. We can actually even do parallel. I'm going to do this one. There we go. It's okay. So now this is set. Now we're going to set the distance for this. I'm going to go project geometry of that edge. So I have a reference point. I'm going to go click the back edge of there and that and click it. Now this dimension, I want that divided by 2. So that fixes the distance, brings it as a function. And then I also want the distance from here to that point. So dimension, there, there. I'm going to put as that distance also. So now it's going to start out and coil its way into it. You use more of a natural coil. Finish sketch. And then we're going to do coil. We are going to pick an axis. So I'm going to come over to here. I'm going to go, there's my axis. And we need this to coil down through. So I'm going to go to coil. We're going to make it a cut. Coil size. We are going to do pitch and height. The pitch is 1 divided by 11. That's threads per inch. Height, we'll go 1.75. So it comes almost to the end. Hit OK. And now you've just cut threads into that. Notice it starts nice and smooth. We can actually go a little bit farther if you wanted to. So if you want to edit it, double click coil, coil size, and we can go to 1. Let's try 9. There you go. So they come a little bit farther up. And if we want to go the full 2 inches, size, let's go full 2. Hit OK, and there we have it. So that is how we make the screw part for the clamp. Now what I want to do is I want to put some sort of feature onto here so that I can have a little base of the clamp to make a little base. So I'm going to start a sketch here. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this first. Done enough. Clamp screw. Okay, so that's saved. And now I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to my, let's go to the YZ plane, create a sketch. And I'm going to draw a feature to be revolved. So I'm going to come here at the line tool. It automatically picks the center. I'm going to come out 0.125. We'll go out 0.125 as well. Then I'm going to draw a circle of 0.25 diameter. Double click on it. Let's change it to 0.375. So it's going to be just about the size of this. It should slide on through. Oh, I hit the back button by accident. Forward, forward again. Those are undo my mistakes. Then I'm going to do is I'm going to go to trim. Oh. Escape. Let's draw a line from here all the way to the top. Okay. So now I have this feature. So I'm going to start trimming out some sections like that. And like that. And there. Oh, hit the back button. So now what it's doing is it sees this as a constraint. So I'm going to delete that. And now trim. Like that. So now I could revolve this feature. Finish sketch. Revolve that along its axis. And hit OK. There you go. Change the material to ABS plastic. Let's make it a nice color, yellow. Smooth yellow. There we go. Save. And now that is the first part of the clamp. Let's make the actual clamp. So file, or I can go up to here, new, standard IPT, create, start 2D sketch, and we're going to make a C clamp. So I'm going to start with a rectangle, a 2-point center rectangle. This will be like the vertical portion of the C clamp. So we're going to go 1 inch. And let's go actually 0.75 by, let's go 3 inches for the clamp. Then I could do a 2-point rectangle starting from here over. I want at least 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches of clearance that way. And if I need to dimension this, let's go 0.7, let's go 1 inch that way. And then for the bottom, I'm going to do a 2-point center rectangle like this. It should snap to be somewhat even. So I'm going to go 2.25 on the bottom. Let's go 0.75 there. So it looks like that. And that is pretty much the base. So I'm going to go in and hit trim. Just trim that. Okay, cancel. So there's a dimension associated with it. So click that, delete. And I can go trim. All right, so we have to go in. It's telling me that there's dimensions. So I'm going to delete that dimension as well. Back to trim. And trim again. And same thing, trim that. Same thing, dimension associated with it. So I'm just going to remove some dimensions to know that I can trim it. Just like that dimension. Back into trim. There we go. So now I have a shape to actually extrude. I'm going to go finish sketch. Okay, so now I'm going to extrude this feature. this. Now, if you have trouble extruding it, it's because there's some sort of open loop. You might have to go in and edit some lines. I'm gonna do this in 2 directions. So it goes around that axis, 1 inch, hit OK. I'm then gonna come up to here and put a hole for where we're gonna put our threads. So that is a 0.375 inch hole. And I will dimension that from here to here, 0.5 inches. Should be centered here, 0.5 inches. It is. Good. Finish sketch. Extrude cut that hole. So I hit extrude, cut. That. You can go distance. Distance is probably a 1/2 inch. It looks fine. Okay. Control F4 brings it down. Good. Hit OK. Okay, so now we're going to cut the threads into this. But first, we're going to need to put an axis on that. So let's go axis through center of circle over ellipse. So now we have an axis. Sketch the XY plane. View, slice graphics. Okay, let's draw our triangle in. So polygon, 3. So we're cutting them in, something like that. Let's dimension from there to there, 0.125. Vertical constraint. Dimension that to here. So we got dimension, click that, 0.125 divided by 2. Those will cut my threads in now. Same thing here to the bottom of it, 0.125. And now that should cut the thread in. And we will go to finish sketch, 3D model, coil, that profile, you might already select it, that axis, cut, coil size, pitch and height, 1/11, divided by 2, hit OK. And now that is our coiled feature, and we can move it around like that. There we go. Save it. Okay, it's good. Same thing, we could change this to ABS plastic. I'll make it a different color, red. And if I don't want to look at that axis anymore, I can click on it over in the browser, turn the visibility off. So we have the screw, the clamp, and the screw, and now we'll make the little piece on there. Remember, that was a 1/4 inch. All right, so now we're going to make the little pad that sits on the end of this, but we're going to put this into an assembly first to do that. So I'm going to go to New, Assembly. I'm going to place in that screw, so clamp screw, open, like that. Right click, okay. So that's the clamp, that's the screw. So I'm going to do it right on here in assembly mode. Change to a right side view. Then I'm going to go create screw pad. Hit OK. So now that's there. I'm going to go click through these. I'm going to create it on the XY plane of this part. Start 2D sketch. And now what I'll do is I'll project the geometry of that outer side. This is now going to give me a better base to build off of. In the sketch menu, I'm going to click offset. I'm going to go 0.015 offset. And then from there, I'm going to click and go 0.125 offset. I'm going to draw a couple of lines in. So I'm doing this kind of arbitrarily. Click here. Like that. See how it snaps into the same spot? Snaps there. This is going to be a little pad that fits over. I'm going to go trim. I'll turn this line, left click on it, right click, into a construction line, so it doesn't affect anything we do. Then now I'm going to draw a flat portion onto it. So I'm going to come in with a two-point center rectangle right on the edge. Let's go 0.75, tab, 0.125. So now that is part of the pad. Just trim away some more of this. There we go. So now what we want to do is we're going to revolve this feature. So I'm going to have to do a little more work to it. I'm going to take another line, come here. And what I'm going to do now is trim that material. So I'm left with just the one side. Okay, cancel. It's because there's a dimension here. I'm going to delete that dimension. Click on the line, delete, trim that. Okay, this should be a closed shape. Finish. Revolve that around its axis. Hit OK. So now that should fit over. I'm then going to come into that revolves parts. Click onto one of the planes that goes through it. And I will cut a little relief into this. Something like that. Let's go View Slice Graphics. So I know where I'm dealing with. Sketch. So let's go 0.5 long by 0.125. Finish sketch. And now what I'll do is I'll extrude cut that 2 directions and hit OK. And now that should give enough flex to allow that pad to get over. I'm going to change that material. ABS plastic. Smooth the out as well. Return that. So now that's the clamp pad that goes onto there. A little bit of space. Should work. If not, it's all right. Save that. Screw pad. Okay. So now that's all the parts. So I have the C clamp, clamp screw, and screw pad. So when I will go to print these, I'm going to go File, Export, CAD Format. I'm going to go, click this drop down, look for STL, go to Options, make sure it says millimeters, even though we didn't, we still need it in millimeters. Hit OK. And then we're just going to export that. And I'm going to do that to the rest of my parts. File, Export, CAD Format, C clamp. And then I'm going to need to open up the screw pad. Okay, so what I'll do here, let's do the same for that. I'm just going to close that assembly, open up. Open up that screw pad. There it is. File, export that, CAD format, STL, options, good, save. All right, so now those are the 3 parts that we're gonna make, and we'll 3D print them, and later on we'll talk about different issues that are gonna arise with 3D printing. All right, take it easy, bye.